A cold beginning. The streets were alive with the hum of city life. Cars honked impatiently, people rushed past one another, and the scent of rain lingered in the air. Among the crowd stood Maya, her frame thin, her clothes patched and old. She wasn't begging, not in the traditional sense. Pride still flickered within her, even if it was buried under layers of hardship. She waited by the cafe window, watching people enjoy warm meals, laughter echoing inside. Hunger gnawed at her stomach, but she couldn't bring herself to ask for more than what might be thrown away. The first step, Maya hesitated before stepping into the cafe. The warmth hit her like a wave, contrasting the bitter cold outside. People glanced her way, then looked away just as fast. She approached the counter, her voice barely above a whisper. "Do you have any leftover food? Something you might throw away?" The barista, a young woman no older than Maya, paused. This wasn't a request she heard often. Her heart ached, but she wasn't sure what to say. An unexpected witness. In the corner of the cafe, Daniel watched the exchange. He was dressed sharply, a tailored suit, polished shoes, and an expensive watch. A businessman through and through. He had been buried in his laptop, sipping his coffee, but Maya's soft voice cut through the noise. Something about her struck him, maybe the familiarity of her desperation. He remembered a time when he wasn't the man in the suit but a boy with holes in his shoes and an empty stomach. The turning point. Daniel stood, his chair scraping against the floor. The cafe grew quieter for a moment. He walked to the counter, his voice steady and kind. "She doesn't need leftovers. Give her a fresh meal. Whatever she wants, I'll pay." The barista blinked, surprised, then nodded. Maya stared at him, unsure whether to accept or run. Years of rejection made kindness feel foreign. A meal shared. The meal arrived, warm bread, a steaming bowl of soup, and a side of fries. Maya sat down cautiously, and Daniel gestured for her to join him. They sat in silence at first, but hunger won over hesitation. She ate quietly, savoring each bite. Daniel watched her, then finally spoke. "What's your name?" She looked up, surprised. "Maya." Her voice was soft, but there was strength buried beneath it. Unraveling the past. Bit by bit, Maya's story unraveled. She wasn't always on the streets. She was once a student, studying to become a nurse. But life had a cruel way of taking more than it gave. Her mother's illness drained their savings, and Maya dropped out to care for her. When her mother passed away, Maya was left with nothing, no home, no job, no family. Empathy rekindled. Daniel listened intently. Her words tugged at something buried deep within him, memories he tried to forget. He wasn't born into wealth. He worked his way up from nothing, driven by the fear of returning to the poverty he once knew. He saw himself in Maya, the same hunger, the same hopelessness. "The offer. You deserve more than leftovers, Maya," Daniel said quietly. "Come to my office tomorrow. I want to offer you a job." Maya froze mid-bite, unsure if she heard him right. A job. People didn't just hand those out, especially to someone who looked like her. Worn clothes, messy hair, eyes clouded with exhaustion. "Why would you do that for me?" she whispered. "A second chance." Daniel smiled, though there was sadness in his eyes. "Because someone once did it for me." He didn't elaborate, but Maya didn't push. For the first time in months, a flicker of hope ignited in her chest. Maybe, just maybe, things could change. The first day, Maya arrived at the office the next day, nervous but determined. Daniel greeted her personally. He didn't hand her charity, he gave her training, guidance, and a desk of her own. She started with small tasks, but her sharp mind and dedication didn't go unnoticed. Proving herself. Weeks turned into months. Maya worked harder than anyone, staying late and learning fast. She wasn't just surviving now, she was rebuilding. Daniel watched her growth with quiet pride. She reminded him of himself in his early days, fueled by desperation and hope. A new beginning. One day, Daniel called Maya into his office. She braced herself, fearing bad news. Instead, he offered her a promotion. "You've earned this," he said. "Not because of me, but because of you." Maya's eyes welled with tears. She didn't recognize the woman in the mirror anymore. She wasn't the girl begging for leftovers. She was Maya, strong, capable, and worthy. Full circle. Maya never forgot where she came from. On her lunch breaks, she walked past the cafe where it all began. Sometimes she saw people like her former self, hungry, lost. She never looked away. She bought meals for strangers, leaving before they could thank her. Ripples of kindness. Daniel watched this, though he never mentioned it. He knew Maya didn't need praise. She was living proof that one small act of kindness could create a ripple effect, one that could change more than one life. The reunion. Months later, Daniel invited Maya to a business dinner. She hesitated. She didn't feel like she belonged among CEOs and executives. But Daniel insisted. That night, he introduced her not as his employee but as his partner. She wasn't just someone he helped anymore, she was someone who helped him build something greater. The truth revealed. Over drinks, Daniel finally shared his story. He was once a boy on the streets too, hungry and forgotten. A stranger took him in, gave him a chance, and changed his life. I promised myself I'd do the same for someone else, he admitted. Turns out, that someone was you. Tears and triumph. Maya couldn't hold back her tears. Everything felt surreal, like a life she never dared to dream of living. Yet here she was, not because of a handout, but because someone believed in her when no one else did. Building together, they expanded the business, not just for profit but to help others. Maya became a voice for the forgotten, using her platform to create opportunities for those like her. A legacy of kindness. Years later, their story was known far and wide, not as a charity case, but as a testament to human resilience and compassion. The final reflection. Maya often wondered what would have happened if Daniel hadn't looked up that day in the café. She realized one truth. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness isn't small at all. It's a lifeline, one that can change everything.